Hi, this is Juha from Noux Node, and this video is about Noux Node AI features. Let's first take a quick recap of what Noux Node is. And The industrial machines have a certain operational technology, and then of course we have IT technology, and the purpose of Noux Node is to bridge this gap between these two technologies, so that you can integrate these two, or that you can bring IT methods to OT layer. And how we do it, basically, in the OT network, there's most often very often it's a PLC, and then we are delivering an edge application. It is installed to some kind of edge device, but Noux Node is a software-only company, so the customer can decide what edge device to use. But basically, installing our edge software makes it so that it can then communicate with the PLC. And then on top of that, we have a central application, and this is where all our databases are and where all visualization and analytics happens. And most importantly, this is the place, or this is the solution what you use to configure these edge applications. And this setup makes it possible for us to handle, of course, data, but also data sets, files, and software. But today we are talking about AI features, and we have started implementing those with the data approach. And the reason is that our existing customers, they since they are already using this, they typically have a very strong data foundation. And once you have that, it's quite well, not easy, but straightforward. Start implementing AI. So one big obstacle is already handled. And that is the reason our AI features so far. It's about visualization, it's about analytics, and then some agentic AI on this IT/OT environment. We will keep adding them all over our solution. Okay, let's start going through the actual features, starting from visualization. This is now the central application we are looking at, and like said, our edge handles the data and creates it here under these nodes, making it so that this is the data foundation. It already has some kind of a structure, and then everything we do here is based on this node structure, and here is where the data lies. And our visualization tools, such as these dashboards, this is basically what it looks like. So you can bring in certain panels and build a dashboard that you want. What we have now done is we have brought here. Let me actually start a new one, and as a reference, let's bring in a normal graph panel here. Like I said, everything is based on nodes. I will quickly bring in here something that as a reference, like I said, temperature now. Let's save this one, and let's resize it a bit, just a bit. And so these are the regular panels that are available, but it is possible to bring in this kind of an AI panel. So let me demonstrate. I will select now the same variable. Let's take the same temperature, and then under settings, I can prompt that do something with this. So if I will now prompt here that and then I will generate this. And okay, here we now have a gauge, and let's resize it a bit so it looks a bit better. Oh, okay, more like this. And the point is that this or everything our AI does, it has this kind of a software development kit approach. So it has access to certain things in our software. Like this now, it has generated a totally customized panel, but everything here works. So if I want to change this, you can see that it works like our regular panel, and this is common with all of the AI features. Uh, but the point is that, yeah, we do have gauge panels also ourselves, so this is not perhaps the most posh example. But what if you want to bring in something that we don't have? We can go back here and start editing this, or actually I will start from scratch and generate a new one. So let's make a heat map, what we don't normally have. Um, Yeah. And by the way, very important here, please remember, you can see here that this allows to select which model to use. And you can bring in your own models, so and it is even recommended. So if you have licenses to some for example open AI license and some project there, you can bring that in, and then that way you are in control, and you can control that how you educate the model and whatnot. But let's now trigger this. All right, and then now we have a heat map of a sorts. Uh, this will of course take some practicing to figure out that what prompts to use, and also the AI model, how it starts evolving. But as a quick example, this is what you can do. So we don't have a heat map panel, but now it is here. It is possible to bring in these kind of things. Uh, I just showed you this as a one panel. We also have a feature that you could create the whole dashboard based on the same idea. So selecting node and then start giving instructions. So it would generate multiple panels. I will not now demonstrate that one. You just have to take my word for it. But what I can demonstrate is that uh, these, like I said, even these panels, they are using the brand is the same as our regular panels. If you want to do something totally different, that is also possible. For example, let me show here, uh, for example, this kind of a panel. As you can see that this is very different from our regular panels already. This is possible by using this custom UI feature, so custom user interface. It has been here for some time, that you can bring in your own graphic libraries, but combined with AI, that means that you can start doing some really cool visualizations here. I can also demonstrate that. Let's create a new one, uh, just as an example. Uh, I will use this kind of a command, and again it will take some practice, but we shall see how easy it is. And in this case also, uh, it's not connecting to any nodes, so it's not, well, you can see the visualizations but not the real data. That is also possible, but at later stage then. But let's start with this first. Okay, here you can now see it made a quite bunch of code here, but this is the end result. OE is very common KPI with industrial machines and production. Uh, but yeah, this is how it looks like, and these you can then bring in to the dashboards if you want, and then start connecting the real nodes. Uh, Now jumping back to well, dashboards. Let's select now something here. It doesn't really matter, but let's just put something here. We have here this AI assistant, and this is then that makes it possible to mm, to talk to your data, or even rather talk with your data. You can see here that I have already asked this, that do I have any active alerts, and then it starts checking these things. And well, actually, let's do that again, because the time is now a bit different than the last time I asked this. Um, by the way, this is really good at also understanding typos. So, but in this case, we are lucky that we have the real sentences and real words. And you can see here that how what modules it's accessing, and then it starts giving the answer. And by the way, now it's not, because I did not limit it anyhow to any nodes. It's checking everything where I have access to. That is there something, some kind of alert somewhere, so they don't necessarily be seen in this dashboard in the background. Uh, but yeah, so this way you can talk to your data. Uh, it is also possible to save these dashboards and their time ranges to reports, and so it basically freezes the time range here. And I have now here a couple of reports from that dashboard, and we have had already here this compare reports feature. So it brings you this kind of you can take a quick review of what's happening with what's the difference between these reports. But if you're analyzing it with AI, this makes it also you can do more professional comparison quite quickly. I have already added here this kind of text, so it will check the key differences and trends and anomalies and such. So let's trigger that one. And there we start having the results. Let's wait a bit. And there we have it. So it made quite an extensive report out of this data based on our command and commands. So there you have it. It starts like giving you summary, key differences, trends, even anomalies. Of course, this because this is a demonstration and just 2 days from the same machine, not necessarily very mind-blowing anomalies. But anyway, it can give you that. But the main point is that this is fast. So if you need to have this kind of a report comparisons and even tell them to your customer, it's pretty straightforward to do it. Okay, so far we have been talking about these. These are more like this kind of ad hoc things. Of course, if you create visualization, you use it for a long time. So, but my point is that still it's sort of like if it's on visual stage, that you just take a quick look at it, or these reports that customers not necessarily demanding these except sometimes. So in that sense these are ad hoc and based always on a limited time range, that okay, let's compare 2 days or something like that. But what happens if you have, for example, 4 years worth of data here, and then you want to start analyzing that, because it doesn't really make sense even user interface wise to do it like this. For that we have its own dedicated module, this AI data analysis. I have created one example here already. We can run it again. So the point here is that again I select the variables from the nodes that I want to analyze, and then I can give this certain certain commands by prompting, and then I can start this analysis. But the point is that this creates batches, so it's not going to push one huge data dump to some AI model, and it will take time and it will cost money. But since it does it like it optimizes these batches, that how it does it, so it's better suited for these kind of big data amounts. Let's see. Okay, and now we have a complete analysis. You can see here that it divided this into these batches. That, okay, this data amount is not big, but anyway, so it did that, uh, and then it creates this kind of a, well, similar report as before, but well, like I said, it's better suited when you have a big data dump, that or data amount that you want to use this on. So we got you covered here also. Then finally, what everybody's been expecting and waiting for, this agentic AI. We are using what we call a data flow here. So this makes it possible. Let me open one that has nothing to do with AI. This makes it possible to create new data or create alerts or whatnot based on the existing data. This kind of block coding method. Uh, and here we have brought in now, let me open another one, this one as an example. So this kind of a AI processor. So this is the one that you can now edit. Let's make something super simple. So basically it has two variables and then it's now calculating average, and I will make this run once so you can see what's happening here. So there you have it. Of course you don't want to use AI to something as simple as this. This is just to show that how this works and what you can do with it. But here I have another example that is a bit more complicated. So this kind of file implementation idea. So what this does actually is that it has, well, I can show it from here. So we have several inputs. We have a template report, and then we have two reports, and then we sort of combine them and create another file out of those. So as you can see, it is possible to do not just combine variables, but data from different locations and even in different formats, like in this case files. What this will enable you to do, for example, that let's now assume that you're delivering machines and you have to run factory acceptance tests and site acceptance tests during commission, and then let's say annual service visit, you run the same test cycle. So with this, what you could build, that every time that the machine is running this test cycle, it will generate a report. Let's now assume that your customer is demanding an Excel file report of this service visit. So you could, every time you go there, you can automate this, that it will generate this kind of report, for example. But this is our way of handling the agentic AI. And then also please remember that what I'm now showing is a central application, but the same data flow feature is available on the edge. So that means that you can run that here or there also. Of course, you need to have a local AI model in that case, but if you have, then this is totally possible and totally supported. Yeah, I think that this is pretty much it. Uh, to summarize, if you remember, well, one thing, then please remember this, that you can use your own AI models. It is even recommended. So we encourage you to do that. That way you are in control, and you can sort of educate the models and divide them into projects uh, and so forth. If you remember two things, then remember that if you're using this system, the data foundation, which is one of those common challenges with AI, you got that covered also. So well, so that is where we can help you. We will keep adding the AI features everywhere we can. We already have some on the edge, so there will be more to come. But this is it. Now we just hope that you start doing different things with AI and start learning. Thank you for watching.